Good morning on August 31st of 2025. Guess what tomorrow is? September 1st. How does that make you feel? Yeah, it's dewy in the morning, the trees are starting to turn. Yeah, it's that season, it's change. But that's what life's all about, is change. So there you go. I'm Shari Humes, and I am your service assistant for today. And our minister, our wonderful minister, Frank, is going to tell you what it's all about.
Yeah. So, hi. I'm Reverend Frank. For those of you who haven't met me, there's a few. We have some new people. Hi, y'all. It's good to see you. Welcome. The talk today is called Trusting the Harmonious Way. I try to get the word trust and harmony in the same sentence, and so seemed to make sense. Anyhow, we're on a 4-week series of 4 paths on how they sort of flow in the year and the day in our lives. Sometimes they flow minute by minute, all 4 of these paths. So today is the second part of the series. We'll go back and touch on part 1 if you weren't here. And the way today is called the positive way, the via positiva, or it might be the way of harmony, or the way of trust, or the way of wake up and pay attention, or whichever works for you. Yeah, all right.
Our guest musicians today are Ray and Diane, so we're in for a wonderful treat. Thank you.
Blessed always, blessed always, for the arms of God surround us. Let our joy be so triumphant that we rest in God and say amen. Blessed always, blessed always, for the arms of God surround us. Let our joy be so triumphant that we rest in God and say amen. Let our joy be so triumphant that we rest in God and say amen.
We gather in prayer, a sweet gathering, a pause of thoughts and joining of hearts to be as one, calling to source divine, to the angels all around, waiting to be called into service. We ask and we receive. So let us each ask for peace beyond understanding in our own hearts. Then extend that same prayer for our family, friends, community. Widen this out to include our state, our country, and now envelop Mother Earth. Peace on earth, goodwill to all. Peace reaches around and enfolds this beautiful planet. In this deep peace, now feel love and extend love out. Ask and we receive. If you have someone who you would like to personally include in this bubble of love and peace, feel free to say their name aloud. Jim and Jane. And Red. And so it is. And we say thank you, thank you. Now we move into a relaxing, refreshing time of meditation. Take a deep breath in and release slowly. Repeat this for a few cycles. This is a time just for you. Meditation is a bath for your senses, a time out for your mind and body to relax and renew. As we trust our heart to beat, our lungs to take the next breath, we can trust that harmony exists in each heartbeat, in each breath. Harmony we know when we hear notes of music that blend beautifully. We feel harmony when we blend with life. Breathe in. Attuning to harmony happens through our senses, but also through our senses we recognize disharmony. For the next few minutes, let the sound bowls guide you. Choose to be curious how you experience harmony and disharmony. Both are important to know intimately to guide our way and experience life fully.
time has come, let us begin with all our voices joining in to sing of love and brotherhood, people doing what they should, help our fellow man decree, fill this land with harmony, the young, the old, the rich, the poor, making sounds never heard before. Harmony, harmony, let's all join in harmony, sing away the hurt and fear, a great new dream will soon be here. Harmony, harmony, let's all join in harmony, sing away the hurt and fear, a great new dream will soon be here. Like the shepherd guards his sheep, watch your children as they sleep. Like the potter turns his clay, help to shape a better day. Let us sing a song of love. There's one thing I'm certain of, love will fill the hearts of men, peace will come on earth once again. Harmony, harmony, let's all join in harmony, sing away the hurt and fear, a great new dream will soon be here. Harmony, harmony, let's all join in harmony, sing away the hurt and fear, a great new dream will soon be here.
Yeah. By the way, these guys spent a lot of time preparing that song for today, so I think it's beautiful. I don't think I've heard that before, is it? Yeah. Lovely. Harmony today. You know, an interesting thing about harmony, I was, thinking of metaphors and thought of the metaphor of a boat out in the waves. And you're sitting in the boat, and a big wave comes, and you're way over here, right? So what do? You wait. And there's a harmonious way that the keel of the boat goes, no, let's get back into center. Let's get back into balance. Let's get back into harmony. And what I want to talk about today is moving into this. For those of you who weren't here before, we're on a bit of a 4-part series that this mandala that you see up here sort of represents to my eye. And the next phase we want to talk about is finding harmony. And then the whole journey is how do we do that? How do we live in, by the way, we live in this amazing universe, this cosmos. And the Greek root of the word cosmos is harmony. We live in a harmony. At least that's what we're called to. Of course, as human beings, we have free will and free choice, and we do all sorts of things that push us out of harmony. And some of the great Taoist teachings that I really appreciate what they've taught me is this energy of moving in without so much effort, is reconnecting with the inherent harmony of the universe, and therefore the very harmony of my life, and trying to find a way to come back into center, to find the vibration, the match, the energy, the resonance of what it feels like to be in this harmonious place of balance. In the unity system of 12 powers, we call that divine order. Located right here. It's like it's in your gut, you know it, this divine order, this divine harmony. It's the nature of isness. It's the nature of the world. What I love about a mandala that we have up here is that it's a circle. So in one way, as you look at it, it's just one. It's just one unity of all things sacred, all things spiritual, all things in the harmonious balance and this beautiful piece of art. By the way, some of you, if you don't recognize it, if you have a name tag, you have this symbol on your name tag. In the word unity, there's a dot over the I. This is the dot blown up. I had it up here last week, and I'm going to bring it up again because we're going to paint these two just a little bit darker, and then we're going to make 3 of them, and over the next week or 2, they're going to be the new signs out on the building and out on the road. That's going to say Unity of Bellingham, a spiritual community. We added that, a spiritual community, because people come walking through the parking lot, and I go, I meet them. Do you know what this place is? A yoga studio? Because people don't know what if you don't know, you don't know. Or they call and they start talking to me. It's like, I think you're looking for Unity Health Center. They start telling me their diagnoses. I'm like, it's wrong Unity. So you want to be sure they know which Unity we're talking about. So I brought it in again before it gets hung up on the sign. But there's a harmony, there's a balance of energies. And this isn't the only way to slice the pie. It's of course not. It's so beautifully entangled with all the energies of our life. But I want to propose to you, and in these 4 weeks, we're gonna kind of tease it out in a certain way that makes some sense to me, and actually has proven to be incredibly helpful. And you can see there's like 4 layers. You could call them winter, spring, summer, fall. Some of the traditions say it's the via negativa, the negative way, or the via positiva, the positive way, followed by the via creativa, the creative way, and finally the via transformativa, the transformative way, the way of being totally transformed. So last week we talked about the via negativa. And this week, of course, we want to phase into the via positiva, the positive way, because we like the positive way, because who wants to be in that old negative way? I do. This is one of the most, and so I'm going to touch on the negative way so we can move on one more time and remind us of this. Because what I've recognized, and this is probably true for most of my life until I finally learned about meditation and stillness, and silence, and quiet, and finding that getting out of, in my own mind, categories of dualism that I used to hold on to, right and wrong, good and bad. When it's interesting, sometimes when people are not feeling well, we want to put that in the category, well, that's wrong, you shouldn't. And the whole idea is to get you out of bad into good. And yet, here's this subtle mandala of oneness and wholeness, is that this too sometimes is part of the path. Not in any way to, no one's going to celebrate when someone doesn't feel good. But we also can recognize that we see someone in their wholeness even when we're not feeling good. We can see someone on their evolution of their journey even when I'm in a funk. It just means that that's one stage of the transformation. As a matter of fact, the spiritual path asks us to go into this via negativa, to not try to go, oh my gosh, that's wrong, that's bad, flee to the next side, but rather to turn and look at it and go, what's this energy about? What's in this sense of what I might call the negative way? What's mine to know about this? What's mine to learn about that? What does this teach me about compassion for myself and for others? What is this all about? And nobody needs to languish in the via negativa. Oh no, not necessarily. But what I learn about the negative way, the more I go there and explore, the more I like it. And as a matter of fact, it can some be a trap. This negative way, this way of stillness, of silence, of meditation, of quiet, of contemplation, can sometimes be so beautiful that we get stuck in that. I just want to meditate all day. The monks don't even do that. Let's talk about that for a second. Here's a metaphor. It's a metaphor. I'm somewhat familiar with the path of like the Benedictines, the Trappists, the Christian monks. I also looked up the path of the monks in the Vedic traditions, the sannyasis, the swamis, and what their daily ritual looked like. And I know that a little bit more, and I don't know much about the Buddhist monks, but you can find out online. And their path through the day and what they do. And what's interesting is in all these traditions, and I'll use the Christian tradition, the Benedictine one, they have a morning ritual, a morning prayer. They ring the bell, 4 a.m. I know, wants to be a monk. Every day, 4 a.m., ring the bell. I saw a movie once, it was called Into Great Silence. And it was a movie about the Cistercian monastery in France. And the guy called them and said, I'd like to come. He was like 28. I want to come and do a movie about your daily order, your daily ritual, your prayer life, how it works to be a monk. And the abbot says, we'll get back to you. And then doesn't hear from him. I guess they forgot. The director of this movie is now 67 years old. The phone rings. Well, we talked about it, and the answer is yes. These guys have been around a long time. 1,000 years this monastery's been up and running. 50 years. Well, it takes a while if you don't talk that much, it takes a while to have this discussion. So they show this movie, and these monks are standing there in their silence, and the bell rings. It's 4 a.m. The moon's outside. Icicles are dripping. The monks are walking through the halls. It's very quiet. And they go and they start doing this morning chant. It's 4 a.m., pitch black dark, just some candles lit. This beautiful chanting, icicles dripping outside, quiet. And I'm just entranced. I'm sitting on the edge of the couch like, this is so amazing. It was just magical. And then my daughter comes home and she walks in the door and she goes, Dad, what are you watching? You're watching icicles melt on TV. Are you crazy? I sort of popped the moment, but I could see from her perspective that would seem a little odd. The via negativa, this negative way, it's 4 o'clock in the morning way. It's 4 a.m. way. The sun isn't out yet. It's quiet, it's still. Maybe I've got extra warmth. It's cool even in the summer. And I go in and we sit in the quiet in an expectation and a trust and a knowing, because it's happened over and over and over, that even in this deep dark, which may mean dark, or it may be something in our life that feels dark, that the dawn is coming. It keeps happening over and over and over. Even in the coldest winter, spring is coming. Spring is coming. And in the monastic church, after 4 o'clock, after they've had this morning prayer, they go back they don't go back to bed. Like that's what I'm like, ooh, that bed looks good. They go back and they start doing like some reading and journaling and just prayer until the next bell comes, and it's what? You could say it's 6 a.m., but it's really not a matter of clock time. It's when the sun comes up. When the sun comes up, as soon as that sun comes, we're moving out of via negativa. It's going to come. I'm going to trust. It's part of the harmony and the balance. It will come. And when that sunrise comes, the bell rings, and they all go back, and they have a whole nother prayer. And it's the via positiva. It's the prayer that says, we knew it was coming, we affirmed it was going to come, we knew this unveiling, this unfolding was promised to us, and it's on the way. And the question was, were we ready? Or were we sleeping? Or were we ready? Or were we sleeping? And I wondered, what is the prayer? They said the prayer they use is one from Zechariah. The very first chapter of the Gospel of Luke. This is how it begins. There's a couple of sentences. Oh, we wrote this for Theophilus, and here's a story as we've heard it, and I'm going to write it down. And you come out the gate, and the very first thing in the Gospel of Luke, is it the Christmas story? No, it's this guy called Zechariah. And he's a priest, and he's praying in the temple, and he's lighting incense. And an angel, Gabriel, comes to him and says, your wife's going to have a baby. And he goes, yeah. We're old. We're not having a baby, angel. I don't know what you're thinking. He says, no, you are. That's the promise. And because you didn't listen to me, I'm going to take your voice. You're not going to be able to talk anymore. Translation, dude, you need to shut up and listen. The angel invites him into the via negativa. Time to get quiet. You think you got it all, and you don't. You think you know how it all works, but you don't. I've given you a promise of something new. You need to be quiet, and you need to shut up. And if you can't do it, I'll help you. Took his voice. This is the God. This is how it starts. You think it starts with Jesus in the stable? No. He comes out the gate with Zechariah. We start the gospel with I'm going to invite you or bring you into the negative way, into the still way, into the quiet way, into the 4 a.m. way. And then what happens is Elizabeth gets pregnant. She has a baby. The baby's born. She says we need to name him John, and people go, you can't name him John. And so he has to write it down because he can't talk right. His name is John. And he instantly, because he's learned to be quiet and listen to the miracles of his life, the adventures of his life, the new things that are coming in his life, he wasn't paying attention. He needed to be quiet. He needed to go in the via negativa and slow down and listen. Then he got it. And then things started happening. And there's this thing, and so when you look at the Christian prayer, and when you look at the Benedictines and the monks, this is the prayer they say at 6 a.m. This is what they say, and it's this piece that goes from Zechariah, by the tender mercy of the divine. The dawn from on high now breaks upon me. It gives light to me. I used to sit in darkness. I used to even be in a shadow of death. I was feeling really bad. But now, the dawn has broke, and the divine guides my feet onto a way of peace. They read that every single day. The Canticle of Zechariah. The light has broke, and now I see it, and now my feet on the way of peace. And the springtime, it's like now the light has come up. And what I really love about it, both in the Christian, the Buddhist, and the Indian Vedic tradition, they say another prayer, and they get to eat breakfast. I thought that was kind of cool. This is the big meal. The sun's up. Let's eat. Yeah, you get up at 4. You know the feeling. It's like, I don't know what they do about coffee. I think I would need that at 4 a.m. And then they finally get to eat. So this is the energy we're talking about. We've been in the still. But the thing is, in all of these, it says, you get to see this new dawning. You get to see this new breakthrough of peace. You get to see this breakthrough of new possibilities. Because first, you sat in the darkness. Because first, you went there. You went there to the stillness. There's a great story that aligns with this. It's a story that, I have a story of my own, but here's a story that Jesus told about a wedding feast. And there's these bridesmaids, and they're all getting ready for the wedding. It was going to happen, sometime later. But the bride was out, and the bridesmaids were out doing things, and they were all getting ready for the big party, and the groom wasn't showing up. So eventually all the bridesmen went. They said, go wait for the groom, and the groomsmen, they're all coming. The wedding's going to start. So they went out, and they all wait. But some of them fell asleep. And then they didn't plan. They weren't thinking. They brought no oil. Some of them did. Some of them didn't. So finally, the wedding party shows up. The bride comes. They're down the street, and they say it was at midnight. Now it's approaching dawn, and here they come. And they got up. Those who thought, I'll bring oil. I'll be ready. I'll stay up and make sure that I'm prepared. In the via negativa, I will not just make it happen accidentally, but I will be alert in the silence and the stillness. I'll get ready. They lit their lamps. Party time. And the others went, oh, what? What's going on? Like, who's here? And they go, oh, shoot, I'm not ready. And they had to run into town for oil. I don't know who was open at 5 in the morning. And they missed it. They missed it. By the way, here's the thing about these parables. I've said this before, but if you ever go read that story online and it gives you a translation, it'll probably translate it. Well, the bridegroom was this, and then the bridesmaids were this. But what I want to suggest to you, don't translate it. Don't translate parables. Feel the energy. Feel the vibration. It's like a koan. It's like a Buddhist koan. It's an energy. It's a story that gets in. It's a soul story, not a head story. It's a soul story. And they lead us into this vibration. Like what I vibrate in that is, there's things I can do to be ready for the dawn. To be ready for the dawn, I gotta get up earlier. Now, I'm not saying this literally. Like, what did Reverend Frank say today? He said I should start getting up at 4 in the morning. That's not what I'm saying, but you do. There are people, it's their biorhythm, but I want to suggest it would be fun to say, just for a month, what if I set my alarm for 4 a.m. and just practiced? Just be a little monkish. Just try it for a week, a month. Get up early, meditate, journal, and just have a window open where the sunrise comes. And be in the energy of this. This is the promise. This is the harmony of things. There's a time of the dark. There's the time of the sunrise in the morning. There's a time of the afternoon, creativity, next stage. And then there's the dawn, the dusk, and we're back into winter. This is the harmony of the rhythms of our world, the harmonies of our internal energy, the harmonies of our life. So the thing is, let's be in harmony. I can't separate these two out, this via negativa and via positiva. They feel like they just roll into each other. They roll into each other. I'm going to pause for a second, because I found myself thinking about this energy, this transformation. Did anything come to you? It's like, yeah, I'm distracted. I'm not paying attention. I'm not ready. I read about those 10 bridesmaids. In what way are you the one that's like going, oh, what happened? And in which way are you the one that's going, I'm ready? And we're talking about our spiritual life, but it's our whole life. It's our whole energy. It's our whole, it's all interrelated, right? This spiritual part. I'm thinking all week about, how much, I was pondering this parable, and whenever I sit down, I start preparing for a talk, I was meditating, and, I set the little timer, and just in the quiet, and all of a sudden it's like, there's these birds over here. There's these people working on the road. There's this energy over here. Oh, the neighbors are over there. What's Diane doing in the house? And all of a sudden you get in this witness consciousness, right? And you just see this beautiful world of things, energies, but talking, the creating, all this stuff. And just being in that place, it's like for a minute or 15 or an hour, can we be the one saying in that via negativa, I'm going to be in the stillness, and I'm going to notice the dawns around me, the creativity around me, the transfers around me. And then I can jump back into it. Me, Frank, a lot of you know me pretty well. If I don't know this whole balance, I'll stay right here and do, dooby, do. Create. And I'm out of balance. And exhausted. Tired. Be dorky after be dorky after be dorky. It's a balance. This is inviting us into balance, and we'll talk about the next two over the weeks. But don't want to get away too fast from this via negativa. Don't want to escape too fast from the silence. Don't want to escape too fast from, oh, I'm in a bad mood. I can't wait till I'm not. I don't feel good about this. I can't wait till I'm better. I'm suffering around something. That's bad. That's no good. It's not part of life. Let me move on. It's harmony. There's a flow and a balance and a balancing. I got more. I'm looking at the time. Now let me end there. I think that's enough. I want to tell you a story about me, and then I'll end. When I was I was a brother for a while. Some of you know that. I was a monk, and I left the order mostly because I was working with, there's a lot of reasons. Meeting Diane was a big one. And I was walking around the campus, and I was really in this place of, in the Dominicans, we would do an early morning prayer, and then a breakfast prayer, and an afternoon, and we didn't do the whole 9 prayers, but there was a bunch of them, and I was in that flow. And I was just in this place of like deep via negativa, mystery. I was Zechariah. I was trying to figure it all out, and I heard, you need to just listen. Be awake. The dawn is coming. Be awake for when it dawns. And I'm walking across, I'm in Berkeley. I'm on the Graduate Theological Union University of California campus. I'm walking along. I'm on the street, and this guy across the way is like, Frank. He's in a suit. And I sort of knew this guy. He was in the Center for Business and Ethical Studies, I had gone to a couple, afternoon workshops. And I look up and I see him, and he's going, wait. And he comes running over to me, and on the street, and I go, I didn't know he knew my name. He goes, you were in my dream last night. And he goes, you were with Greenpeace, and you were railing for Mother Earth. And you were so like, Mother Earth, we've got to love our planet. We've got to love the wholeness. We've got to love it. I'm like, okay. He goes, just thought I'd tell you. And he walked off. That afternoon, I put out a resume for an environmental science company and got the job a day later. And I was like, I have no idea what I'm going to do. That job led some months later till I was a consultant for US EPA, and I did EPA work for 17 years. Raised my kids. It was my life. It had so much to do with my whole formation. Not only that, it led me into working with the Franciscans and working with sustainability and environmental ethics and eco-theology. It just led to so much thing. And it started because I was walking along, okay, what's next? And listen. We gotta listen. Who's trying to tell us something? What's the world trying to tell us? What's coming up? The Taoist, I read this Taoist piece. And the Taoist teacher was saying, the guy was trying to figure out all the problems of the world, and I'm gonna do this and all this. He goes, you need to fast. He goes, fast? He goes, not food. You need to do a heart fast. This is this Taoist teacher. You need to do a heart fast. And he said, what's that? He's like, you just need to let your heart sit. He called it, this word I've used many times, wu wei. You need to let your effort be effortless. You need, like the boat that's off a keel, you need to just allow the harmonies of the universe to put you back in line. And to do that, you gotta listen. Be open. Be waiting for the dawn. Be expectant. The sun's going to come up that window. Are we waiting to hear it? The message. Are we waiting? Are we in the place of expectancy for the via positiva? The positive news is going to come. We'll get our voice back. We'll listen. We'll be aligned. And then it'll come. Unity, we call this affirmative prayer. It's a prayer of expectation. It's not a prayer of supplication. It's not a prayer of oh God out there, different than me. The divine is wrapped up in all this. This is these mandalas are just saying, here's all the stuff of the divine energies that flow in our life, the godness, the breath of the God that is all of this. It's Godding, being, essencing, presencing. And we find it in all of that, right? Yeah. And in unity, we affirm that this truth is our truth. So when something's happening, dear God, please make this happen. God, yeah, maybe. I'm not discouraging praying any way you want to pray. But what I want to offer you is this. Can I say, I affirm that there's wholeness afoot. I affirm and I know and trust that the dawn is coming. That I affirm that I am able and open and willing to be awake, to be aware. I have it within me to be aware of the possibilities of the good in my life. Am I sick? I trust in the wholeness of the evolving process of what's happened to me. I can see it in terms of wholeness and unfolding. The dawn is coming. I rest assured of the fullness of my well-being, because that's the nature of who I am. Then I can do a denial, despite the fact that right now I recognize I am miserable. This hurts, that hurts, I got it, whatever it is. I'm not saying that doesn't happen and it deserves compassion and love and care and treatment, and sure it does. But despite that, it doesn't have power over me. It doesn't have power to distract me from the truth of this unfolding, this cycle of the good, the divine good that is part of the energies of life. Harmony is my truth. Harmony is not only my truth, it's synonymous with the cosmos. The very nature of the cosmos is harmonious, and everything aches to come back into harmony. So I'll end this talk with a little prayer. Go back to the Canticle of Zechariah, this via positiva. The sun is up. The new possibilities have dawned. I can affirm the world of goodness that's all around me. I'm expectant for my day. The sun is up. Breakfast is on. Espresso, cappuccino. I don't know if they have that in the monastery, but the sun is up. I'm expectant. And now all that's possible is flowing deeply in front of me. So if you'd like, close your eyes, and I'll close with a little paraphrase of this Canticle of Zechariah to celebrate our via positiva. I affirm this. Divine mercy is ever present, omnipresent in the world, in my life, in my community, in my country, and the planet. I affirm the divine tender mercy of the divine is omnipresent. I trust in the harmony of all things of my life. I trust in the dawn, that even though there may be places in my personal life, in my communal life, and in the world where I feel suffering, I affirm that the dawn from on high will break upon us. It will. The dawn is coming. And the light of the divine will break forward, and it will sit on all those who have been in darkness, who have sat in darkness. That light will come through as a blessing, even if we're in the shadow of death. In any ways, we know certain aspects of our life, of our history, of our world, of our being, of our physicalness. Different things fade, they end, they die, even in the shadow of these deaths. I see the harmony that light still comes. When we sit in that darkness, when we sit in the via negativa, when we don't run from it but embrace the pre-dawn times, we are assured of this light. And this light comes and it guides our feet. It guides our energy. It brings us into a harmony of peace. into the very nature of of harmony of that, which is the cosmos, the very nature of being, even in the times that upset, even in the times where are seemingly out of harmony, it all comes back to a resonance, which is peace, which is peace. I trust it. I affirm it. Sometimes I feel like I'm losing patience, but I'm waiting expectantly for it. The dawn is coming. Breakfast will be served. The light is coming into our lives. And we are grateful for that. It is the truth of our very world, of our very cosmos, of our lives. Patience, friends. Patience, and be ready. Be ready. And when it comes, let's be ready. Meanwhile, other things that are going to look at your bulletin. Oh, guess what? It's September, so potluck next week. Can you believe that? It's first Sunday in September, so it'll be our potluck, and that'll be fun. We're back in a potluck schedule. There's only like a handful of Daniel Naidmont tickets left. So if you want to come to the concert, you can get them online or talk to Jen. I think there might be less than 10 tickets left. And that's to like fill this place with about 120 people. So big concert. The opening song you guys did was Daniel Naidmont. Yeah. Which one was it? It was Love Is My Decision. Yeah, Daniel will be playing that one. By the way, a number of you have said that you don't have a name badge. So if you need one, just let me know. I'll put your name on a list and we'll get it to Deborah and be sure you get a name tag. I just want to make a number of thank yous. First off, Jay Scott, thank you for the party that you invited everybody to. That was very good. And for those of you there, I mean, it took about 100 people to clap to get him up to the very top of that tower thing that you came down, yeah. And the DJ was sure that you were just going to give up any minute, but you did it. So that was very generous of you. Yeah. And Russ, thank you. You and Greg did the stripes out front over the weekend. I don't know when did you do it before the party? Oh my gosh, thank you so much. And thanks, Greg, wherever you are. Come on up, you guys. And we've been trying to have an art piece that Malin has led and many people have had a hand on that we're going to hang in the foyer out here. But just to show you the final piece that we wanted to have done for the conference, it's here. Okay, this is like one of those games to know who's standing in the right spot. I think, Marie, you're on this side. Yeah, we're gonna hang it in the front foyer. So hold it up high. Does our art piece have a name? Yeah. Oh, they even put in prayer flags down here. And this is all the 12 powers. And if you come and see, these are the colors and the words, strength, wisdom, love, are all in here. And in case you don't know, this was all magazines ripped, torn paper that was used to put this art piece together. You notice you have to come and look close and see what you might see in the ripped paper, because that's half the fun. All sorts of people and critters and animals and other fun things that you'll see. So we don't have a name for it yet. That's the 12 powers over Bellingham collage. Yeah. And we're going to probably hang it up right after service and be in the front. So thank you. How many people here have put at least one piece on this thing? Yeah. Russ? Yeah. Shari? Okay. Well, anyhow, thank you everybody who's contributed much. And also Malin also afterwards will be available as our chaplain. If anyone would like just a moment of private personal prayer, the chaplain's room, which is right there with the purple chairs, will be open after service. Okay.